I discovered an asteroid hurtling toward Earth, and I'm not supposed to tell anyone. The data came in slowly at first, just a slight anomaly in the numbers. A small blip on the chart that didn't seem to belong. I figured I just miscalculated something, so I ran the scan again. The same blip. But this time, it was larger. More defined. I pulled up the tracking system and adjusted the coordinates. The object was closer than anything we had tracked before, much closer, and it was moving faster than anything I'd ever seen. I thought it was a mistake. It couldn't be right. It was just too big, too fast. But the more I stared at the data, the clearer it became. This wasn't some rogue asteroid. This was a massive, speeding rock, and it was on a direct path toward Earth. I ran the numbers again, hands trembling now, but the result was the same. The asteroid's size, its velocity. It didn't add up with anything I'd seen in my years of study. A collision was inevitable. It was only a matter of time. I felt sick. The weight of the realization hit me like a wave. We were in danger, and I was the first to know. But there was a problem. You see, this wasn't just any observation. I had the access to everything. Tracking systems, internal satellites, data on every space object moving around Earth. But there was something more to this discovery. There was a system in place for this. A protocol for these exact kinds of situations, one that I'd never really paid attention to before. I knew about it in theory, but this was the first time I was faced with something that required it. The protocol was simple, but terrifying. Don't tell anyone. Not a soul. I wasn't sure at first if I had read the notes right. I went back over everything, my head spinning with disbelief. It wasn't until I pulled up a secret file buried deep within the database that I understood why. The protocol was put in place decades ago, long before I was born, specifically for situations like this. I didn't understand it at first. Why wouldn't they want to warn the public? Wasn't my job to protect people, to inform them of things like this? But as I read more, it became clear. The asteroid wasn't just a random piece of space rock. It had been tracked for decades, and the government had been aware of it for far longer than I had. They knew it was coming. They knew its path, its size, its trajectory. They knew everything. And they had no intention of telling anyone. The file explained everything. There were 3 objects, 3 asteroids, that had been identified as potential threats to Earth. But there was something different about this one. It was part of a greater plan, a plan that had been set in motion by powerful forces long before I'd ever set foot in the observatory. The government had been preparing for years, building bunkers, constructing secret shelters for the most powerful, the elite, anyone who could afford it. They had their own plan for survival, but it was something much more insidious than just saving humanity. The truth was darker than I could have ever imagined. They weren't trying to protect Earth. They were trying to preserve themselves. This asteroid, according to the file, wasn't just a random piece of space debris. It was part of an experiment, a controlled, deliberate experiment to gauge humanity's response to catastrophic events. In the last century, there had been several similar near misses, and each time, the government had worked in secret, ensuring that only a select few knew about the danger while the masses were kept in the dark. I stared at the data again, the weight of what I was reading sinking into me like a stone. The asteroid was real. It was coming. But what disturbed me more than anything was the fact that there was nothing we could do to stop it. The asteroid was too big, too fast. We couldn't send a rocket to destroy it or deflect its path. The best scientists on Earth had tried and they had failed. But that wasn't the worst part. No, the worst part was that they had known this was coming all along. They had just kept it hidden. There was no plan to stop it. There was no effort to save the billions of people who would die in the impact. I had to do something. I had to warn someone. I couldn't keep this to myself. I fired off an email to the director of our observatory, a man I trusted more than anyone. I thought that maybe, just maybe, he would help me expose this. Help me tell the world. But the moment I hit send, the lights in the observatory flickered. The air seemed to go still, too still, as if the very room had frozen in time. I didn't realize it at first, but there was a pressure in the air. Something heavy, something suffocating. And then my phone rang. It was a private number, one I didn't recognize. Don't do that again. The voice on the other end was calm, unnervingly so. It was a voice I didn't recognize, yet I felt a chill run down my spine as though it had always been there, waiting. Who is this? I demanded. Do not contact anyone else about the asteroid. You're in far too deep now. You've seen the truth. There's nothing you can do about it and nothing anyone else can do either. You're better off staying quiet. I slammed the phone down, my hands shaking. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. My mind was racing with 1,000 questions, but I couldn't answer any of them. I spent the next few hours combing through every piece of data I could find on the asteroid, but I didn't get far. Every file was locked. Every trace of information was deleted or encrypted beyond my ability to break it. It was as if they had anticipated this, anticipated me. That was when I realized something. They didn't care about the asteroid. They didn't care about the impact. They were only concerned with controlling the information. If I tried to warn anyone, if I tried to expose this, I knew exactly what would happen. There would be consequences. The same consequences that had come for anyone who had learned the truth before me. The asteroid wasn't just on a collision course with Earth, it was part of a plan. A plan to end everything. To end the world as we know it.